bless everyone out there in Radio Land. This is Barry and Karen coming to you live from Embracing Marriage Ministries and Dare to Be Different podcast. Dare to Be Different Live is our live podcast that we do each night at about this time. And we thank God for the opportunity to come before you again. Y'all probably saw me this morning when I did my stream. If you haven't didn't join us, you can check it out there on the Twitch.tv site. Check us out on Brace Gaming, Brace_Gaming 149. Check us out there at Twitch.tv. And that's where you're at right now. If you're watching us, you can check the past broadcast. That's where it is. Also, like I said, we talked about what we actually are going to be discussing on tonight. And so that's what we're going to do tonight. Hopefully, you'll be able to see what we see. I think you'll be able to see what we see. I actually, what it is, we're going to do a lesson, or attempt to anyway. We're gonna it's a lot of information, so I'm going to try to condense it down to the point where you can be able to understand it. You may not hear too much from my wife. But I think once we get to our own personality types, then I think we'll probably she'll talk more about that, because she's familiar with that one. She's familiar with that one, and I'm familiar with mine. So the other ones are gonna be kinda, I think maybe except one or two others, because we know kind of the people like that. There are similarities to what we had studied about the different four personality types. There was a lesson on a first person personality test we took actually in another book, and it was based on this guy who had a theory that certain functions in the body will pertain to the personality. And it was the sanguine, the choleric, the melancholy, and the phlegmatic. I think that was the four. And so we took the test based on that. And again, like we told you before, we're on both ends of the spectrum. She's a melancholy. She's the more laid back, the more analytical type person. They're the person that kind of figured stuff out and whatever. And the sanguine is your person who's, outgoing, free, whatever, So I'm more that than I'm the sanguine type, and so that's my personality type as far as that, and hers is melancholy. And but then you have a mixture, so it's kind of like they have, what did you call a mixture? You have a first primary and a secondary type personality type. They kind of a mixture. So I was more a phlegmatic. I think it was a sanguine phlegmatic or something like that. I was more a kind of stable kind of sanguine. I wasn't a person that was just out there just jumping off buildings and bungee jumping and base jumping and all this other stuff that a lot of true sanguines do. But now I'm not that. I'm an adventurer. I want to go out and I'm spontaneous. I want to see things and do things and stuff. And my wife is the kind of person that that's cool, but how much it's gonna cost? We don't have the money for it. She's the one that takes care of everything, so she pretty much, I had to go to her and ask, so can we do this? And she like, no. Oh yeah, she'll tell me yes or no whether we can or not. So she's pretty much over that, so I don't ever have to wonder about it. I'm gonna adjust the camera a little bit, so I can get the rest of my arm. So we both will be in there. Here we go. All right, there we are. So, but these are similar to that, and once we get into them, you'll kind of see your You're like to give you an example, your sanguine is like say you're free hearted, you're entertainment, the center of the room type person. They're the people that's like you say, the base jumpers, the bungee jumpers, the parasailers, the skiers, the people that do all this adventurous stuff, climb mountains with no rope and all this kind of craziness that you see. Those are sanguines. Those are your fun seekers. They're the ones that go after it and go after it hard. They play fun. They fun is their middle name and that's their game. And so they're entertainment. They get bored real easy. So you got to kind of watch them because they need to be entertained. That's why you have to deal with them. And I could have done that one. It probably would have been simpler. But these actually, once we do them, you'll see. I'll show you which ones relate to that. The second one is your phlegmatic, which is your people who are out there. It's your people who go out and to outreaches, and they're your people. More so, sanguines are people, but they're not like the phlegmatic. They're more concerned about causes. They want to be involved with a cause. They're kind of like that. They're real loyal to whatever cause they are. They keep the rules and that kind of thing. Your melancholy is your people or your choleric, which your CEOs, your real leader, your hard kind of personality person that's just really business and they're really serious and they really they think sanguines are foolish. They think that that phlegmatics are too caring and think melancholies are too lazy. See, that's the kind of personality type they are, and we think that they're too strict. They don't have no fun. The phlegmatic thinks they don't care, and the melancholy thinks that they work too much. So the melancholy is the person that pretty much is even keeled. They don't let too much disturb them. They're kind of just they're real. Believe in balance. They believe in just everything being, straight. They don't want no lines, no ripples, no ruffles, nothing. Everything got to be right. They're more prone to OCD than anybody else in the world. And but the sanguine, on the other hand, are more prone to addictions because of their the way that they are. And so these personality types, which are similar to these, you're gonna see. I'm gonna take you to the slide right quick. I'm gonna check this scene. Hopefully, they'll let me read it Took a test and to find out what kind of personality types we have. Um, at first, when I first took the test, I was fell under the last one, which was the Ventura type, which I thought I was the entertainer. And so the entertainer, yeah, I shut that down because it's taking too much bandwidth. And this for a moment. And so what happened? When I took that, it ended up actually showing me as an entertainer. So I was like, okay, well, when I read the definition, and like I said, once we get into it, you'll see the definition. Once I read the definition, I was like, no, that don't sound like me. Now they are people like I am, because I'm a people person. But the only thing is that they make it, like I say, they're the life of the party and they want everybody to like them and this and that. Then I kind of looked at it, I say, no, my personality type's a little different from that. So I think there's something else. So I retook the test and answered one question different. And it changed me from that to console.
Wow.
So the test will get you accurate if you answer the question right. Because if you answer the questions, that's why it's good to take it twice. If you go to 16personalities.com, you take the test, take it twice just to make sure. Because if you, and my wife was the same, she answered the same questions the same way, and it gave her the same type. So it was her type. So, like I said, the first one, I think I'm gonna go into, will be the architect. The architect is your first one, the first group of that one. I'm gonna go into it right quick. Yeah, I got a lot going on, so therefore my hopefully I'm still here. Well, I'm still there. It's just that I'm dropping my frames though. Good night. Let me find that thing again. Just had it. Here it is. Mr. and Mrs. Architect. Well, I'm gonna read the first sentence. They have different things and aspects of it, so I'm gonna just tell you some of it because, like I say, it's a lot, and I don't want to go into too much of it. Well, to sum up, basically what it is say it's lonely at the top. Well, actually, you know what? I think I could do just the end of it. That probably would help. What kind of person? And get the summary of it. That'll give me an idea. We'll do the summary. That'll pretty much tell me everything. I mean, they got like 8, 9 different kinds of. Yeah, that's the conclusion. All right. Just to sum it up, basically. They base it on different type things, so it's called like letters. So, but I'm not gonna read the letters. Basically, what it is the architect. Architect is armed with a powerful intellect and strategic thinking. Architects can overcome and outmaneuver obstacles that seem unbeatable to most. At the same time, there are many quirks, such as often unconstrained rationalism, lead to many misunderstandings. Those misunderstandings end here. Well, what you have read so far is just an introduction. We have a great deal to tell you about the personality. At some point, reading, the conclusions are pretty much the same. I need to go back. So, yeah, all the conclusions on this thing are pretty much the same. So I tell you strengths and weaknesses. Well, let me go to the beginning. Let's start over. Oh God. All right, let's start over. We're gonna read the first paragraph. Say it's only at the time of being one of the rarest and most strategically capable personality types, architects know this all too well. They form just 2% of the population, and women of this personality type are especially rare, just forming just 0.8% of the population, which is often challenging for them to find like-minded individuals who are able to keep up with their relentless intellectualism and chess-like maneuvering. Say people with this personality type are imaginative yet decisive, ambitious yet private, amazingly curious, but they do not squander their energy. So they go on to say, a paradox to most observers, they are able to live by glaring contradiction, nonetheless make perfect sense, at least from a purely rational perspective. For example, they can simultaneously they are simultaneously most starry-eyed idealist and the bitterness of cynics. they kind of dualistic, aren't they? And seemingly impossible conflict, but it's because these types tend to believe with effort, intelligence, and consideration, nothing is impossible. While at the same time, they believe that people are too lazy, short-sighted, and self-serving to actually achieve those fantastic results. Yet that cynical view of reality is unlikely to stop an that instant personality type from achieving the result they believe to be relevant. So they pretty rules are a big thing with them. Well, no, rules aren't a big thing. They ain't big about rules, because they kind of flex. Say rules, limitations, and traditions are anathema, which is a curse to them. Everything should be open to question and revaluation. If they see a way, they often act unilaterally to enact their technical superior, sometimes insensitive, and almost always unorthodox methods and ideas. They'll just, do whatever they want to do, basically. They're going to do it their way and the way it works for them. And so they say, well, there's strengths and weaknesses. Let's talk about that. So the strengths that they have, architects are quick and imaginative. They're highly confident, high self-confidence. They're independent and decisive, hardworking and determined, open-minded, jacks of all trades. You might know somebody like that. But their weaknesses are this: arrogant, judgmental, over-analytical, low, highly structured environments, clueless in romance. They have no idea how to be romantic.
Wow.
So they have different things under them. I want to read the clueless and romance one. To both that. Oh no, they got emotions. But I'm gonna read this and then I'm gonna read emotions. And I don't know why I'm rushing through this. I got plenty of time. But the thing is, I want to read it's a lot. I mean, it's like pages. Quick and imaginative and strategic mind. They say they pride themselves on their mind, taking every opportunity to improve their knowledge. Just shows the strength and flexibility in their strategic thinking. Because of the fact that they're strategists, they're the type of people that if you want to plan something out, that's your person you talk to. That's your go-to person to plan stuff out. They're planners. I mean, that's just they real good planners. They have a real quick and imaginative type mind. They can look at it in an imaginative way. They have high self-confidence. They don't have no problem with that. You don't have to worry about them making a decision. They know how to make one. This creative logic, they said, creativity, logic, confidence comes together to form individuals who stand on their own and take responsibility for their own actions. Authority figures do not impress them, nor do social conventions or traditions, no matter how popular something is. If they have a better idea, they will stand against anyone they have to bid in to have it change.
Wow.
So yeah, I say whether the idea is most rational or is wrong, they will imply this to their argument as well as their own behavior, staying calm, detached from sometimes emotionally charged conflicts. They will only be swayed by those who follow suit. Wow. But then they say they're open-minded. I don't know how. That's one of their strengths. They're open-minded. But then they just said that they make their own decisions, and if they don't agree with the status quo, they go against it. But then the reason say all this rationalism leads to very intellectual, receptive behavior type. Says they stay open to new ideas, supported by logic, even if sometimes, especially if they're prone, previous concepts prove wrong. They prove their previous concepts wrong. When presented with unfamiliar territory, such as alternate lifestyles, they tend to apply their receptiveness and independence and aversion to rules and tradition. These new ideas as well result in fairly liberal social sense. All right, yeah, we gotta figure that one out. Yeah, they're open-minded to certain things, but unless they're proven different, then they can be open to that.
Wow. Okay.
Personally, I don't know anybody this kind of human, because they say it is actually a rare personality type. I don't know a single human person like that.
Me either.
So when they got to describing all these different things, I was like, there ain't nobody I know at all. Now, they have a problem with trust. I see here, say this mistrust, they don't trust emotion. The very notion of emotional expression is synonymous with irrationality and weakness to them. A display of poor self-governance and fleeting opinions can hardly stand up to the enduring light of factual truth. They believe in the truth.
Don't sound familiar.
Well, yours is not so much bad.
No,
You don't buck against the system. They go against systems and rules and set order.
Ooh, that is
So-
bad. Yeah, we don't know nobody like that.
So no. Because according to this, that's basically the type of personality this person is. They only go according to the truth that exists. There's not a truth existing, which I fear. So they have that kind of. They are goal oriented with long term ideas founded on sound logic. So they're real logical. Say when something does cause an emotional reaction, good or bad, that energy can be used to further these goals, aiding rational and predetermined plans. Secondly, emotions are figurative canaries in a coal mine, indicating that something is off even though logic can't see it yet. These feelings can help them to use their logic to ask questions that they may have thought to ask. This is upsetting. Why? What can be done to resolve it? Question with boldness. And to say in this way, emotions are not a way they were addressing in decision, but rather an indication that decision needs to be addressed. So they don't base their decisions off emotion. They base it off of whether the decision needs to be. It's a basically a fact. They think it through. They think it out, and they figure, well, hey, we're not gonna let emotions move our decision. Basically, what they're saying. They're not moved by emotion for as their decision goes. So you can't just try to tug on, like a lot of people try to use tactics to try to draw your emotion and try to get you to submit to certain things. These type people don't do that. They look at, okay, that's good. What can we do about it? Basically, they kind of like. They have no emotion about it. They almost like Vulcans, on Star Trek. They have that's what it sounds like. It don't even sound like a real human, because like I say, we personally, we don't know nobody like this. I mean, if you know someone like this, I mean, and you have to, like I say, if you want to go there, you can go to the website and check it out. Like I said, I don't know if my chat or my bot actually kick it out. I can't put the link in there. So what to do? Romantic relationships. Now this will come down to if we once we do that. I'm gonna do this one because it relates to what we're actually gonna talk about. So we most likely gonna focus on this as our base. So we're gonna go from this to that. So this is where we at now. We're gonna go there because actually that's what this whole thing is about. How they relate in marriage. and in family. But I wanted to give you that particular foundation to get you kind of idea of what kind of human being this is, whether female or male. And they only, like I said, only 8.8% of female population is like this. Now you a woman like this something ain't right. Now I can understand it's not like a male personality, but a woman to be like that, that's pretty.
Yeah.
You know, you can't
Hard
talk
to-
to somebody like
Hard
that.
to live with.
Yeah, they real difficult to live in. Now, they said that this is the part we're gonna focus on as far as marriage goes, because it does deal with romance and whether they can marry. they stay married long. So I'm gonna go through this one a little more thorough. In romance, the relationships in romance, people with this personality type approaches things the way they do with most situations. They compose a series of calculated actions with a predicted and desirable end goal. A healthy long-term relationship. Rather than falling head over heels in a whirlwind of passion and romance, they identify potential partners and meet a certain range of predetermined criteria.
Oh my goodness.
Break the dating process down into a series of measurable milestones and then proceed to execute the plan with clinical precision. Do you know a human being like that? I don't know no one like that. I mean, that's crazy.
Me either.
So what they do is basically they're goal oriented. So they basically just their marriage and their dating situation is a strategy.
Good Lord. That'll be something little. So I wonder how it'd be if they get off course or something.
Well, that's probably what we're finna read. It's in a purely rational world. This is a foolproof methodology, but in reality ignores the significant details that they are likely to dismiss prematurely, such as human nature, because they don't sound like humans. They are brilliant intellectual. They are brilliantly intellectual, developing a world in their heads that is more perfect than reality. People entering this world need to fit this fantasy, and it can be incredibly difficult for them to find someone up to the task. Needless to say, finding a compatible partner is the most significant challenge for most this personality type will face in life. Wow. Politeness is artificial good humor. That's what they say. Sentiment, tradition, and emotion are their Achilles heel. The social standards or chivalry are viewed by them as silly, even demeaning. The problem is the standards have been developed as a means of smoothing introduction and developing rapport, of managing expectations, the basis of personal relationship. Their propensity for frank honesty in word and action tend to violate this social contract, making dating especially difficult for them.
Wow.
So they don't date much because they can't. Number one, they can't find anybody that fits this world that their heads in.
Oh, yeah, huh.
And then they can't. Then they're so honest and they're so frank and upfront because of the personality type.
Yeah.
That people be like, you know, it's like, give you an example. They had a commercial one time. I think it was a bacon commercial or something. And the guy was on a date, him and this lady. She said, I'm only going to be here a few minutes because I have to go home. I'm going to act like I'm a fake and go home. Oh, yeah, me, and I'm going to act like I'm going to get sick and leave. They say in the end of the commercial, say, don't you say, how did they put it? They said, what would it be like if people would just be honest like this?
Yeah.
That's them.
Yeah.
That's the kind of person they would just basically say, you know what? I have this long time and I really don't want to waste it. Let's just see where it goes. And that's kind of like, you know, that's kind of,
get to the point.
yeah,
huh?
that's just, they kind of to the point. Let's
yeah.
just, you know, see how this goes. And you know, or they'll just basically tell you this is not gonna work. You know, they the kind of person that call you and say, you know what, it was nice, but this is not gonna work. You don't meet my criteria. And that when you hear criteria come out of their mouth, you know you got an architect as a personality type. So So that's the call. You got certain personality types have call words. And so in their particular cases, criteria, you don't meet my standard. If you hear a person talking about they don't meet my standards, they don't meet my criteria. They're too needy, or they're too emotional. He this kind of thing or whatever. Yeah, they're that type. So as they mature, they say to become to recognize these factors as relevant, incorporate pace and emotionally availability into their plans. But in the meantime, can be dangerous, especially for more turbulent those personality type, turbulent architects. If they are shot down too many times, they may come to the conclusion that everyone else is simply too irrational or simply beneath them intellectually. If cynicism takes hold, architects may end up falling into the trap of intentionally displaying intellectual arrogance, making solitude their choice rather than happenstance. They will rather just be by themselves than have to deal with people if they get shot down too many times. They will shut themselves out. And so for you to get one and marry one, God bless you. You must be as smart as they are, because you have to be. They expect that. You can't be somebody on a total different level and deal with them. So the positive side of architect giving up is that they are the most attractive when they aren't trying to be attractive. Working in a familiar environment where their confidence and intelligence can be seen in action. Allowing others to come to them is often the architect's best strategy. And if they receive a potential to the relationship, they will spare no effort in developing and maintaining stability and long-term satisfaction. Well, they never say anything about them leaving. So as the relationship develops, architect's partner will find an imaginative and enthusiastic companion who will share their world and at the same time grant a huge degree of independence and trust. While architects may never be fully comfortable in expressing their feelings, they may spend more time theorizing about intimacy rather than engaging in it. They always be relied upon to think out a mutual benefit solution to any situation. Say they seek strong, deep relationships and trust their knowledge and logic to ensure that the partner is satisfied both intellectually and physically. Well, you don't have to worry about that. When it comes to emotional satisfaction, they're simply out of their element. Yeah, they don't know anything about emotion because they don't deal in emotion.
Man.
Yeah, not every partner has this sort of fun they do in addressing conflict and emotional as puzzles to be analyzed and solved. Sometimes emotions need to be expressed for their own sake, and putting every outburst under the microscope isn't always helpful. Some people do that normally. Yeah. But if this becomes habit, architects may say, they are capable of simply ending the relationship rather than dragging things out. Just like I said earlier, see, I ain't got no more time to waste. I don't think this is going to work. We going to move on. That's kind of how they think. Truth and morality. Now, they are, let's see how their morality is. Architects are bewilderingly deep and intelligent people, bringing stability and insight into their romantic relationship. They prize honest, open communication in all factors of their relationship. Are open to discussion and change, but this must be reciprocated. Architects do what they think is right, and sometimes it comes across as cold. It's important to know that architects don't make these decisions lightly. They spend a tremendous amount of time and energy trying to understand why and how things go wrong, especially if they've devoted themselves to a relationship, and they certainly hurt deeply when things fall apart. Wow. So yeah, they do feel. The challenge of finding partners who share the same values through intuitive. That's because one of the things on this is INTJ, and so it's the intuitive part, which is the N type or uncommon, but it must be for many architects. As sharing their trait creates an immediate sense of a mutual belonging. Having one or two out two balancing traits such as the extroversion, feeling, or prospecting. That's something that you'd have to actually, when you take the test, it actually shows you this. Because we didn't take the test and stuff, I'd have to actually take it again in order to see that. Because they got different things that they base it on when they ask you the questions. Because what I would do for tomorrow, I'm going to take the test tonight. We're going to retake it. And then I'm going to read my results and kind of give you an idea of what they're talking about there.
Oh.
And can help, so such as these traits can help keep a relationship dynamic and growth oriented, and keep architects involved with other people and in touch with their emotions and open to alternative potential. So that's a lot, but what's basically saying that they are pretty good people to have as a wife or a husband, but you have to be a certain type of person to be around. You have to. They don't just get anybody. They can't get a person like me who's a console. They can't get unless I have one of these particular traits, which is one of those particular traits. Then they can actually work with me. But if I don't, they be like, bro, look.
Yeah, they're not gonna waste their time.
They ain't gonna waste their time.
Yeah.
They're not gonna. It's not. It's the likelihood of you getting a. If you're a guy that's a console or any other, if you're not in the analyst group, the likelihood of you getting a woman like that is really slim to none. We happen to be in the same type, you know, that which falls under the Sentinels. That's the Guardian group. That's your. I guess that be more like your phlegmatics. They're the people that care about the people around them, and they also care about causes, because it's a mixture of 4 different types. So we fall under the same type. We're not on different spectrums as far as that. Now we're on different ends of that particular type, which is the defender, which is defender in the console. Well, we on 2 different ends, but we're not in 2 different types. I'm not way up there in the analysts, and she way down there in the sentinels. We're not like that. But you have people that are mixed up like that. If you're in a relationship with a person like this, God bless you.
Yes. And
If you are married to a person like that, and you find it difficult to deal with them, this might help you. You go to this and you kind of, if you can get them to, because they're based on fact, they're based on the logic and reasoning and strategy. Tell them, hey, this is how you will get them to take this test. You know, I know you're into strategy and into imaginative thinking. I just ran across a site that you can take and it'll analyze your personality type. All you gotta do is answer serious questions, and it'll give you a theory of what you may be, because they go by theory and they go by analysis and stuff like that. You go with that, they'll be like, okay, we'll take it just as a hypothesis, see if that's what I am, you know. And then they find out about this. It's actually going to give you a more detailed description about your personality type once you take the test, because it's going to be based on certain aspects of it. That's why I say tomorrow, God bless, Lord bless tomorrow. I'm going to take it, like I say, I'm going to take it again, and I'm going to read off the different things, these traits that they base it on. Because each question is based on 4 different, I think it's 4 or 5 different traits. And these 4 or 5 different traits is what if you have more than one or the other, then that's what they base it on, you personally. This is a generalization of this person that we're reading about is a general description of that personality type. It's not specific, because you won't know the specific of it unless you take the test. So if you take tests and you get a person that it might have certain traits more than the other, then you might lean into the other one, which is the next one. Or you might lean into a whole different group. You may not be analytical. You might, because they do have Sentinels, they do have, like my wife's personality type, they like that. But they're not that, they're more emotional. They do care. They care more because they defend not only themselves but they defend others. So she's like that. She'll protect herself and me at the same time. Sentinels, that's what they are. They're protectors. And so does consoles basically protect the equality of the people because they're the balance and we're the fairness. So that's that's where we clash. And we found out we clash in that area because I'm looking at what's fair and she's looking at what's right. And so that's the personality type that's where you have conflict. Now, as far as everything else, when you get your traits in there, that's when we have similar traits. Yeah. And that's where we related at. So we do thank God for you listening to us. I know nobody came into the stream tonight because I guess a lot of people stream, but that's cool. At least you get a chance to hear it. If you're looking at this on YouTube, you can like, share, subscribe. Also, you can go down to our website, which is on the bottom under there, embracingmarriagetogether.wordpress.com. This is the Embracing Marriage Together podcast now. It's not there. It's going to say Dare to Be Different. I was just messing around, but it is actually that. So it's a Dare to Be Different podcast. We're doing a lesson on 16 personality traits. Like I said, on tomorrow, I'm going to do the personality test tonight. It don't take long. So I'm going to have results of it, and I'm going to read off what they say about me personally. And then we're going to do hers the next night and just let you read it off from there. And then we'll just go from that. But I'm going to also actually try to condense these down and hit certain aspects of them because it's like 2-3 pages of this stuff. And you don't want to read all that all night. I'm only dealing with the relationship aspect of it because that's basically more what we're focusing on. How they relate to one another because they got like career paths. People that would like that, how they deal with structure, all kind of stuff. But you don't want it's like 8-9 different factors. But I don't want to go into all that. How they work, and I can summarize and say now those type of people, they're good workers if they're left alone to do their thing and give them free reign to do it their way. They're like people because they're like your scientists and they're people that they're thinkers. They're the think tank. They do what they do, and they don't be disturbed. They're good. If you don't mess with them and let them do it their way, and don't put any restrictions on them, they're the best workers you can have. Because they're thinkers. They're strategists. They're people that can think on their feet. And you will like a person like that working for you because you don't have to watch over them either. Because you never have to wonder, because they're independent. You never have to wonder. If you get somebody work like that working for you, you keep that person. Yeah. Because you'll never have to worry about them. I mean, you have to watch over them. Now, you may have to watch over that console. You may have to watch over that entertainer a whole lot. But the other people, them, no, not architects. You have to watch all of them. Or the other 3 that's above, under them. So anyway, also too, you can check out this podcast on the link that is on our website, embracingmarriagetogether.wordpress.com. Click on that link. It's going to take you also to the podcast itself, where you're going to check it out on Podbean. When you go there, there's also a thing you can go and join as being a patron, which is a person who financially supports us every month. It's going to take you to our page, which is this podcast is at. You click it on a button that says in the top in the right hand corner saying become a patron. You click on that. It will take you to a form where you fill out and you'll be able to give whatever you need to give. It's going to pick you. It's going to give you a choice of what you want to use to support financially and how the amount. And we appreciate whatever you give because we do this for the ministry and we do this so we can be able to reach more people. If you're looking at this on Twitch, hit us with a follow. We're trying to get affiliates so we can be able to do more and we can be able to do more for the kingdom. We thank God again for each and every one of you that are listening. And tune in on tomorrow as we continue this lesson. And we're going to talk about our personality types before we go into the rest of them. Geek, you just come in the end of the stream. Thank God for Godly Geek. Talk about these personality types, Geek. So, but like I said, go to. Also, I forgot to say, and he gets it down like that. Two things, Geek. Put the link in for my Discord, and also, oh God, what else I want to put on there? Just put it for Discord. We have a Discord if you want to go to Discord and leave a prayer request or a testimony. He's going to put the link in our chat. It's going to go. You go there and it's going to do two channels, which is hashtag testify, which is a testimony just to kind of talk about what God has done great in your life, whether it's small or great. You got a new job, got a new car, got healed, you got, somebody, God saved your life from some danger. You came through through chemo. I don't care what it is. Just tell us, because we want to be able to read those praise reports.
Yes.
And there's a link there in the chat. If you want to read those praise reports. And also, too, we have another one, which we have testified prayer. Hashtag prayer, which is our other one when you want to leave prayer requests. Also, what I do is not only do we pray for you that way, I also respond back with a prayer. I do it that way so that you'll know that we actually have seen the prayer request. I check it daily, so you never have to wonder if it's sitting there for days and I hadn't prayed. I check it daily. My wife makes sure I check and say, have you checked the Discord today to see if anybody put a prayer request? So the first one is the one for testify. The second one is one for prayer. So you click on one of those links, it'll take you to it, and also it'll get you to, it's also an automatic invite, so you'll have to join the Discord in order to do it. We thank God for Godly Geek. Godly Geek is getting ready to do some great things in ministry. We want to support him as much as possible. We get a chance, we'll get his schedule, because he's going to be going. I think it's called Gospel Gaming now. And so you'll have to help. I'll have to help you set up stream. Okay, thank you, because I sure need it. I'll help, because I hadn't got a chance to really set that up, but we'll do that. So they'll actually hit that link and every time. So what I'm gonna do, like I say, we want to always support each and every one of those that come in the stream, that are streamers. A lot of the people that come in our stream are also streaming on Twitch, and especially Godly Geek, he's streaming on Twitch. And like I say, he's going to be streaming on a different thing. He's not going to be on his one, but he's also going to be on another one. If you want, man, you can put that link in there. They can find you if once they, or if you don't know it yet, just let us know. We'll shout it out to each and every one. We'll tweet it out to them, and so they can be able to go there, and whenever he goes, we can support him. So, on that note, if you didn't get a chance to hear the podcast, like I said, you can go to the website, raceandmarriagetogether.wordpress.com. You can also, that's it there, Gospel Gaming. He's at twitch.tv/gospel gaming. So you can go there and check it out. Also, like I said, go to the website, check out the Discord, go to YouTube, like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Follow us there on Twitch. We're on Facebook and also Twitter. Twitter, we tweet every day, and when we get ready to stream, we tweet it and tell everybody that we're actually going to be online, and we always share what God is doing. And also our podcasts actually do go to our Twitter and also to our Facebook, so you can click on those links. It'll take you straight to it, so you'll never have to wonder. We're also on Spotify, can't forget that. So if you listen to a lot of Spotify, we do have a podcast there. You go to Embrace and Marriage Together / Dare to Be Different, and that's what our podcast is named. So you can go there and check that out. And we're on Spotify now. So so we're everywhere as we can possibly get. Got probably one or two more places we get, and then we'll be good for right now. We're covering pretty much a lot of ground. So we thank God for everything that's going on. So on tomorrow, about the same time, probably a little earlier, we'll try to between 7 and 8. Try to get that in.
Yeah.
We'll do our next one, and we'll go through the next personality type. We'll try to do a little bit more on those, and then we'll, like I say, I will do the one that I do for me, and to give you an idea of the traits that they use to kind of determine what type personality you have. So on that note, we thank God again for each and every one of you that joined us tonight. Like I said, just check us out. If you didn't get a chance to see the whole podcast, just go ahead and check it out in the past broadcasts on this site. God bless you, and we'll be seeing you. Well, you got anything to share?
And have a good night.
Amen. Have a good night. We'll see you on next time.
Yeah.